Councillor Smith.
Manager, I'd just like to come back and comment on what you said there about the Cherry Orchard Restorative Forum, and I could understand and see your frustration even on the day when the thing was taking place, but sometimes it's the process that makes a difference to the local people rather than the outcomes. The process itself can be important for them. But on what you said there about the council putting a lot of effort into Cherry Orchard and spending a lot of money as against other areas, that's probably factual and you can show it. But the issue, I think, goes deeper and further than just the local authority. There's also the question, as I pointed out on the day, of all the cuts that have been suffered by the projects that deal within the main, the youth that and people who fall out of the system, fall out of the education system and stuff, that can often be at the heart of problems in the area. Like the Equine Centre, the WAD project, they've all been massively cut and will continue to face more cuts. So I find the real problem in dealing, and what I thought that day was that there was a lack of input from other agencies that are also responsible from the area. The teacher got up and pointed out that the school is packed to the gills and they can't take more kids in. And if you put another 300, 150 or 200 or whatever the estimate is of children into the area, what do we do with them? There's one shop in the area. The services for young people and for the community are being slashed. So it's all the other interagencies and the lack of policing that people are feeling the effect of. It's not just the responsibility of Dublin City Council. When I was first elected councillor back in 2009, I was on the Cherry Orchard Regeneration Board along with Vincent, and we had all those agencies around the table. That collapsed along with the economy, and I think that some kind of a forum like that needs to be looked at again, because the other agencies are getting away with blue murder by not accounting for the resources that they're taking out of the area, rather than seeing it all the responsibility of this body here, of Dublin City Council.
Manager, do you want to just comment there?
I will, and I fully accept what you're saying. I'm actually in agreement with what you're saying. I firmly believe from a strategic level we have to look very, very closely at Cherry Orchard. I've had this discussion with the Planning Department, Planning and Development Department. I had a discussion yesterday in terms of what we could do to support investment in Cherry Orchard. It appears, and I don't want to be too prescriptive, it appears that there's an unwillingness from the private sector to invest in Cherry Orchard. Therefore, it will be left to state agencies to provide the solution or the answer. So I'm fully committed to developing a strategy. We'll start, I think, with a very high-level strategy, and I'd be looking for the support of the members here, possibly, just in terms of review of the City Development Plan. We have a significant amount of land in Cherry Orchard. Within the Ballyfermot area. We need to be fairly clear as to what we're going to do with it, how we're going to develop it, and rightly so in terms of the lady you said in the school. The lady said the school is full. I'm told 10 minutes away the other schools are empty and they're crying out for children. So, really, there's a lot of joint up thinking. I think you're 100% right there in terms of other agencies, Department of Education, Education Training Boards, and HSE, Sulis, Enterprise and all that. I'm willing to give our best shot over the next while. There'll be no stick and plaster or quick fix solution. I think strategically we have to look at it. We have to look at it at a very high level, see where we need to be. And you're right, then. Let's get a vision for where we want to go with it. The City Development Plan, as I said, is up for review. It's one of the last parts of the city where there's a significant amount of land. Let's influence what should happen within those lands, and then maybe let's look and see how state investment can kind of be the catalyst to allow other investment in Cherry Orchard, to allow it develop in a I suppose a very cohesive and a very good I suppose a place for people to visit, for people to live, for people to work, for people to go to school, for people to shop and all that goes with that. But I fully agree with what you're saying there, and I was acutely aware when I did go to the restorative practices meeting that there was certainly, what would you say, a void of a number of agencies, and I certainly will be looking to see with the Ballyfermot Partnership and some of the others as to how we can address that.
Manager. Sorry.
Just in addition to that, if you are pulling something like that together, the other agency that I think should be involved for the long-term future of the area is Irish Rail. We have a train station there that isn't open and another one up the road at Park West that isn't used. and that it doesn't make sense. There needs to be a service on the railway that brings people into the city. And that's a long-term project, but it's certainly one that we need to include in the mix.
That train station is ironic. You can't, even if you live in the reasonable locality, you can't even bring your car up to park to get on a train because there's no car park. So you see people parking up in the footpaths there and everything, which is, it really is.